Second Amendment is the right to bear arms. This is a topic widely discussed and debated nowadays, with some of the mass shootings being publicized. So basically what this is about is there's a lot of people who want to put more strict gun laws and more strict rules for people to own guns. In their aspect, if we have less guns, there'll be less problems and less murders and less conflict in return. But in fact, today I'll be discussing why we shouldn't be putting more gun laws and how we should just leave it how it is and be as normal as it is, as we do have the right to bear arms, as the Second Amendment states. Right? So according to theguardian.com, while gun ownership doubled since the 20th century, the murder rate has decreased. Right? And so this would go directly against the statement of less guns equals less death or less murder, because the guns have increased and we've actually seen a decline in the murder rate. And so we can debate back and forth, but the amount of guns does not affect how many murders that are happening, right? So as it shows, we've just gained and gained more guns. A lot more people are having guns, and the murder rate is still decreasing, right? And so with that, we can make the case that more guns can equal less death or less murders or less conflict, right? And so that leads me to the next one, is that in 2000, it was reported 100,000 people used firearms to defend themselves from others and others from other crimes, right? And so the main use of these weapons and arms is that they can defend themselves, their families, and their rights, right? And so for me, it's really important that I can at least defend my family if it does go down to it, right? Doesn't mean I'm just going to be carrying my gun around everywhere, but it means that I have the right to protect my family, as these other 100,000 per year that have been able to do that, right? And if we put more gun laws and stricter gun laws on this, those 100,000 might have had a different outcome. Maybe those 100,000 died, or the 100,000 had their things stolen, or they could have been harmed pretty badly, right? And so with that, it's not a way of harming people, as most people think guns are just to cause war and hurt people, but it's a way to defend, a way to help ourselves protect what we love and things that we do have. Right? From the University of Chicago, Dr. John R. Lott Jr. States with the largest increases in gun ownership have the largest drops of crime. Right? And so we can see that the more guns that we actually have also shows the less crime, almost like the same statistic on the first one, where the more guns we had, the murder rate dropped. Also does the crime rate drop. We can also think of the way of criminals, right? If they know that somebody has a gun, they're probably less likely to go steal or to go do what they're going to go do, because they do have that fear that, oh, they could actually shoot me or they could harm me, right? And so that kind of puts that mindset in their mind and deters them from actually fulfilling that crime that they were intending to do, right? It can draw a comparison in Mexico, right? So Mexico, as we know, has some big problems with security, right? And so Mexico, in reality, has some of the most strict gun laws to restrict ownership of guns in their country, right? And so in their country, every year, there's about 10, out of every 100,000, there's about 10 people that are killed because of guns, right? Comparatively to the U.S., it is about, for every 100,000 people, only 3 are harmed or killed, right? And so statistically, this is massive, right? The country that has more gun laws and stricter gun laws, they have more than 3 times the amount of more deaths and conflict because of guns than we do that have less and stricter gun laws, right? And so with that, you can draw a comparison that maybe that it's not too bad that we actually have our guns, right? We have this ability to defend ourselves and show others that like we can't be messed with. Like if they actually do mess with us, that they're going to receive an outcome that they don't want to be having. Like they don't want to get harmed or anything like that. And so that fear in mind deters a lot of the times the outcomes that could have happened, right? And so obviously, I believe that we should not put any more gun laws or stricter gun laws towards the Second Amendment, right? The Second Amendment, it's an amendment. We shouldn't be messing with the amendments as that's how the country was formed and founded, right? And if we mess with these amendments, then we can mess with all the other amendments, and it's not following what we founded the country on, right? And so if we mess with this amendment, what is it to say that we're going to mess with another amendment that infringes on our rights, as our natural right to be citizens of the United States? I hope by this that you guys too can see the reality of guns and how this is a serious topic that can also be debated, but in reality, guns are helping us a lot. And without these restrictions, we're actually a lot safer than what we would be with these gun laws, more restrictor gun laws.